Hi guys, and welcome to another Secrets of the Synth. Hopefully we will answer some user questions in this video. This is a hold pedal, not a foot switch. What is the difference? Well, with a hold pedal, the switch is momentary instead of latching, which means we have no connection when it's up, and when we push it down with our foot, at some point it makes a connection. Now the connection is only held as long as it is pushed down. The instant we release it, the connection is opened. That's a momentary action. In the case of a foot switch, we have a press that latches, and then we have another press that releases. I don't have a foot switch to demonstrate. I will get one by the next video. I don't have any in the studio. I was absolutely surprised. I had a couple of ones before, but they went bad. Okay, but this foot switch is very familiar to the guitar. It's on stomp boxes. You press it down once and the effect engages, and then you press it a second time and the effect disengages. So it's a latching switch, whereas this is a momentary switch. In a previous video we pointed out to you that the switches and the various control pedals are set up in either the studio set or the system menu. So we press menu, and if we go to system and press enter, we will see that at the very top, as we come across, we have pedal. There is your pedal, and next to it we have S1 and S2, which are switches on the left side of your keyboard. Now, as you can see, the red thing says studio for both the pedal and the switches. And what that means is that in the studio set you are able to change the assignments which you see in blue. What you can set here in the pedal is standard or reverse polarity, and you can decide whether you have a continuous hold pedal or not. The continuous pedal produces almost a similar reaction to the EV pedal, which is a variable changing something, you know, like a resistance. Now it's all set to standard right now, and studio is set there, which means that if we want to change the things in blue, which is what is assigned to the pedals, we need to exit this menu, and we need to go, notice this, to the studio set common. Studio set common, and select it. Once we go to the studio set common, we have a similar list of tabs across the top. And you will see as we come across, we have pedal and S1, S2. And now, because it's set to studio, we have the capability to come down here and change what we have the pedal assigned to. Now notice that in here we can only control the control pedals, and on the back of your synthesizer you will find 3 jacks. You will find control 1, control 2 and hold. The function of the hold pedal is always the same. It's the same as a pedal on a piano. You push it down and it extends the sound, the release sound. Release of the sound. Okay? So we need to set up the control pedals. Just pick 1 or 2, usually 1 if you haven't got 2 assigned to anything. And you can assign it to whatever you want it to do. But bear in mind that it does not have the latching or the momentary option in software, which means if you want a latching action, you have to buy a latching foot switch. And if you want a momentary action, when you push it down, you have to hold it down, then you can use a standard hold pedal. Right now it is set to CC11, that is continuous controller 11, which is normally used for expression, as you can see there in the highlight. Now you can rotate the wheel to set this pedal or foot switch, whatever you have plugged into the control jack 1 at the back of your FA-06. You can set it to whatever you want. You can go from off through the whole continuous controller range from CC01 all the way up to CC96, 95. And then when you go beyond that, you have a few predetermined choices for the bender. You can bend down, you can bend up, you control the aftertouch, which we've done in a previous video. Now the CC numbers have various designated uses. For example, there you see CC92 is tremolo and CC93 is chorus. These are suggested or common uses of these particular parameters, but if you're using a closed system such as this, you probably can set them to whatever you want. However, there is one, CC89 has no allocation whatsoever. As you can see, the brackets have nothing in it, and the ones below that have nothing in them either. So if you feel more comfortable using a CC number that is not assigned or will not be assigned to anything else, then you can use one of the general controllers. It's just a means of connecting the controller to the controlled whatever it is you want to do. So you have a controller and a controllee, and basically this connects your pedal as the controller to whatever you want to control. Okay, so the CC numbers, there's a lot of them. The lower ones here you have are no longer, they're no longer switches, but they are, some of them are designated for switch use and some of them are designated as continuous controllers. What's the difference? Well, the continuous controller will accept a whole range of values between 0 and 127, whereas the ones that are switches will just accept two values, 0 or 127, for off or on. So one is a digital off or on, and the other one is a continuous controller. Okay, so having seen how to set up the number here for a particular control pedal, we are going to go and look at specifically the organ wheel tone. So we go here now and we go over to the organ, electric organ. Now we have a number of electric organ voices or tones here, and we have there, some are marked B3 and some are marked C3, corresponding to the Hammond organs of those particular numbers. Now it doesn't make a great difference which we select, because the only difference between these various tones is a few settings to do with percussion and possibly to do with the effects. But the thing about it is they're all using the same supernatural tone wheel voice within the Roland FA-06. So let us prove that to you by pressing enter. And let us go and we press shift and we select tone edit. And we know that we're using the supernatural because we see on the left hand side a number of drawbars representing the typical Hammond drawbars. Now if you do that for all of those organ voices, you're going to find this drawbar screen and it's going to say TW organ at the top, tone wheel organ for all of them. So it doesn't matter whether you select the B3, the C3, the Jazz 1 or the Jazz 5 or the Rock 1 or the Rock 3. As long as the tone wheel organ is engaged, you're going to see 24 TW tone wheel organ, which means you have the drawbars on the left, and then you come down here and you have the settings that are associated with that. The percussion, and of course key clicks, along with the leakage. Of course the leakage is that old time that's trying to make it more analog and get you a more realistic tone wheel organ. Now it's important to understand that it's not the tone wheel voice that creates the Leslie effect. As a matter of fact, this wonderful Leslie effect, which you can speed up and slow down, the swish of the Leslie, you can have it on any instrument that you choose. It is a multi-effects called rotary. And you have rotary 1, rotary 2, and rotary 3 to just give you a little variation. But it's important to understand that your Leslie is actually an effect which could be used with guitars or synth voices by just changing the MFX tab of those particular tones. Now notice here that when we come down to the rotary MFX multi-effects, we have speed, break, and switch, and we have the number of settings on woofer and tweeter, levels and speeds. So there's quite a few settings that you can play with for both equalization, levels and so forth within your multi-effects. But we are interested today in showing you how to have a switch on the pedals that will speed up and slow down the Leslie effect. And for that we need to go over one tab to MFX control. Now we have 3 controls set up. One is here on CC80 that controls the speed of our Leslie. The next one here controls the braking action, as you can see. And the last one here is also controlling the speed, but this time we're using the CC01 modulation control. So basically we have several ways to control the speed, as you can see. Okay? Now, normally, what happens when you just select it in the regular FA-06 as it comes straight from the factory is that the buttons to the left of the keyboard, S1 and S2, above the bender and lever for pitch and modulation, those switches will serve, S1 will serve to switch it from high to low. Let us demonstrate that now. switch down here and it slows down and lights because it's a latching switch on S1. If you want to use the pedal instead of using the switch S1, we're going to show you how to do that now. As you can see here, since the CC01 modulation source is already assigned to the speed, all we would have to do is to put the CC01 on the particular control that we are using. Let's do it together, shall we? We press exit and we go to the studio set common and we press select and we come here where we have this pedal 1 assigned, and now we select that down to CC01 modulation and we press exit and we're done. Completely done. Now when we press the pedal, we will get the slowing down, and when we release the pedal we will get the speeding up. And if we have a switching foot switch, then we press it once to speed up and press it again to slow down. Thanks for watching the Stephen Mendes channel, and we'll see you soon again.